afternoon, members of the Ursuline Academy Board of Trustees, President Levesque, faculty, parents, guests, and the beautiful young women of the class of 2021. Everyone who is presently standing may be seated. It is my privilege as Principal and Director of Mission to welcome you to this special commencement for Ursuline Academy. At this time, I invite you to join me in prayer to bless our wonderful graduates and officially open their graduation ceremony. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Gracious and loving God, we ask for your hand to be upon our graduates as they celebrate this important milestone. May they find strength in the excellence of their academic preparation and support from the long line of those formed in the Ursuline tradition of education. Enable them to discern what is right, good, and just, and to use their gifts wisely in the service of others always. Bless them as they walk into the future with faith, courage, and joy, guided by your light. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our celebration continues now in a very special way with an address by our first co-salutatorian ever in Ursuline tradition. Please warmly welcome Brooke DeLucia.
Good afternoon, members of the Board of Trustees, President Levesque, Principal Tracy, members of the Ursuline faculty and staff, parents, family, and friends. Thank you to our teachers, faculty, and coaches who have been our biggest supporters. And thank you to our parents who have helped us throughout these years. And the most important thank you goes to all of my fellow classmates. Our Ursuline experience would not have been the same without each and every one of you. One of my family traditions is the poems that my grandfather wrote for every family member's graduation from high school and college. As he is not here to write mine, I decided that I would attempt to help keep up this tradition myself and have written a poem about our Ursuline years that I would like to share with you today. 6 years of Ursuline sisterhood. The 6 years, seeing the seniors in white gowns, our day always looked far away. Yet here we are, together one more time, before we must go our own way. The 6 years that once felt so long seem to have gone by in a snap. Too much has happened to recall it all, but let's look at a quick recap. First came the beginning days of school, with skirts still below our kneecaps. None of us believed the seniors when they told us how fast the years would elapse. The days of gym classes and middle school dances don't seem so long ago. Each year passed with field trips, class day, and the annual talent show. We traveled together to Philly museums and to see the Liberty Bell. In Quebec, we braved snowstorms, went skating and tobogganing as well. Many times we have sang Servium together at Mass, and I hope you've had fun debating in civics and English class. From our first years in freshman initiation, together we've grown to becoming the big sisters and each truly coming into our own. We had many good times in the tea room, library, and the locker room. Traditions were made, going all out for grizzly grind in holiday decorated classrooms. Junior year was speeding by with powder puff game and junior ring. We were all extremely busy until came along the most unexpected of things. A school closure that we were sure would just be 1 week or two. No one saw coming this worldwide pandemic that only grew and grew. We adapted with Zoom classes, virtual prom, and the end of the year drive-by. While we might have missed some awaited traditions, we still ended on a high. Before we knew it, it was summer, and we were filling out our common apps. The days of college decisions seemed like a distant dream, but yet now it's a wrap. As normalcy returned, we returned as one with our class at last. Our final countdown and senior traditions have now gone and passed. We have worn our navy polos, tailgated at 7, and planned our senior prank. Promise to come, and then we will leave with memories, which to Ursuline we thank. The days filled of tests, sports games, and rehearsals that we will always recall, and not to be forgotten, our senior year studies and lunches in Angela Hall. Our days at Ursuline may now be coming to an end, but the sisterhood goes on. In us, you'll always have a friend. We have worn the plaid for the final time, but this is certainly not goodbye. Think of the future reunions and the adventures to come. Do not cry. From BC to DC to Ireland, we will all be traveling further away. But no matter the distance, we'll always be here to help you find your way. The day has come of diplomas and walking across this stage, but remember these days fondly as we turn to our next new page. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2021.
Thank you, Brooke. She is the first of our poet laureates at Ursuline. Well done. And now, as I mentioned earlier, we are fortunate to have another co-salutatorian. Please welcome Greta Wires.
Oh wait, sorry, was I on mute? After a year filled with Zoom and remote learning, that question has become second nature and quite honestly a reflex. But in all seriousness, I'm so glad to mark this special day in person and to celebrate the class of 2021 together. There are a great number of people here today who have played a significant role in the success of the 75 bright and talented students you see before you. I would like to welcome President Levesque, Principal Tracy, members of the Board of Trustees, Ursuline faculty and staff, family, friends, and the class of 2021. I am truly honored to speak on behalf of my fellow classmates and to extend our gratitude to those who helped us grow throughout our high school years. First, I would like to thank my parents for teaching me lessons, values, and morals beyond those studied in the classroom. To all parents and guardians, thank you for your patience, support, and encouragement. It is by following your example that we have learned the importance of strength, courage, and fortitude, and it is from your example that we draw inspiration. To our teachers and counselors, our greatest mentors, we greatly appreciate your guidance and optimism. Your passion for education and uplifting others does not go unnoticed and is highly admirable. Thank you to the athletic and drama departments, who in a year unlike any other, worked tirelessly to grant the seniors a final sports season or musical performance and worked around the clock to create a constant and dependable source of normalcy. I extend my gratitude to all those who made today possible. We recognize your dedication and thank you for a wonderful final year together, one that we will never forget and for which we will forever be grateful. Now, as I sat down to write this speech, I figured it was only fitting to begin with my Ursuline debut, 6 years ago as a timid 7th grader. I remember walking down the halls with my skirt past my knees, my socks stretched tall, and who could forget the neon pink Lululemon headband that was all the rage? Well, while I reflected on this indistinct day, I quite honestly only recall 3 things, all of which involved my classmates, each of us trying to get our bearings in a new environment. The first being that Nicole Olson cannot read cursive. Number 2, demonstrated by Isabella Peretti in homeroom, cardigans from Gap are not uniform approved. And 3, the girl who I sat beside in Mrs. Dempsey's English classroom, believe it or not, prefers to be called Madison and not Chin. After reminiscing on my time at Ursuline, I quickly realized that with each memory came a humorous narrative and a lasting friendship. To put it simply, it was always the people that made our time here so special. Ursuline is unique in its ability to produce independent, intelligent, and driven individuals, but just as meaningful is its ability to attract mindful, kind, and humble people. Although I am proud of my academic accomplishments, they are in no way comparable to the relationships I developed with the people I met along the way, whether it be in 7th grade or junior year. It is easy as we focus on academics, grades, and college admissions to lose sight of the life learning that goes on in these formative years. It's some of the best lessons come from the people we meet. From our first day to our last, each one of us has had an important role in each other's lives. As I stand before you today, I see a crowd of gifted, accomplished, and resilient students who managed to rise above all hardships brought on by the pandemic. I see future nurses, engineers, therapists, musicians, entrepreneurs, and politicians, but I also see the young underclassmen I met throughout high school and with whom I share a multitude of unforgettable memories. I see a group of caring and confident people who aim to better themselves and future generations through service, guided by the principles we learned together in the classroom. It is to each of you that I owe the largest debt of gratitude. Thank you for teaching me, for standing by my side through difficulty, and for showing me the power of compassion and generosity. I am honest in saying that I look to each of you as a friend, a supporter, and an inspiration, and I will continue to do so after our time together has passed. But I now challenge each of you to return the favor to those you encounter in the future and gift them with what you have so graciously shared with me. Share your story and remember the members of the Ursuline community who contributed to your tale. In another few months, we will again be uncomfortable as we adjust to college life as newcomers. Don't worry that you don't write in cursive, or about what you're wearing, or that few people know your name. Draw on the strength of your time here at Ursuline. Rely on old friends, but have the courage to take risks and meet new faces. To finish, I thought it would be appropriate to leave you with the words of a few friends who have stood the test of time. I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you because you're there for me too. Thank you and congratulations to my remarkable friends, the class of 2021.
Thank you, Greta. Beautiful job. And now, please warmly greet our valedictorian, Nicole Olson.
Oh no, I think I have the wrong speech. This one's written in cursive. Kidding. Good afternoon, members of the Board of Trustees, President Levesque, Principal Tracy, members of the Ursuline faculty and staff, beloved parents, family members, and dear friends. It is my honor to be speaking with you all today. I wanted to begin this speech by giving thanks to where it is due, starting with the faculty. We all know that Ursuline is academically rigorous, so it comes down to our dedication and willingness to work with the teachers in order to be successful. I know myself and others can remember a time where they were completely lost in a class or simply had a question, and all was cleared up after visiting with a teacher. Although it can be scary to admit to confusion and ask for help, the teachers were always willing to help, and trust me, I would know I ask a fair share of questions. Our teachers challenged us to do and be our best every day, and while it was stressful and difficult at times, it has made us better students and has helped prepare us for college and future beyond that. We thank you, teachers, for expecting greatness from your students because it shows us that you believe in our abilities to be great. And thank you even more for helping in the times when we struggled and did not believe in it ourselves. It has been a pleasure to work alongside all of the faculty, and we greatly appreciate all that you have done for us. So once again, thank you. Secondly, I would like to cast an even larger thank you to all of our important family members that have guided us through our high school experience. It is true that high school has its very stressful times. Whether it is a difficult test, a bad practice, or even a fight with a friend, we all need someone to turn to. Our classmates and teachers are great resources, but oftentimes it is our loved ones that can help the most. I know for me personally, after a tough day After a tough day at school, a simple hug from my mom or dad can change my entire mood. Or the occasional visit to my aunt and grandfather who can make me laugh like no other, instantly relieving all stress. Shout out Mo and Grampy in the audience. Our families and our loved ones are our biggest support system, and we should never take them for granted. So be sure to thank your loved ones on this special day because they have also been a major factor in our success. Next, I would like to offer a huge congratulations to our grade, the class of 2021. We did it. Whether you are a 6-year survivor or have only spent a year or two at Ursuline, it does not matter. You are as much a part of this class and community as every other member. Every single one of us has helped to contribute to the lasting legacy we will leave on the school. Not only will our class be remembered for iconic and hilarious things like Mr. Bimler's trophy, for being the only class who actually dared to beat the juniors in Grizzly Grind our sophomore year, sorry to any 2020 grads in the audience, or easily the best senior prank in UA history with the We Buy Ugly Houses sign. We will be known for having a crazy amount of athleticism in our grade, covering most, if not all, sports. We will be known for our insanely gifted musicians, actors, dancers, and artists who have killed it in all shows and performances. But we will be known for much more significant reasons as well, such as our outspokenness for political and moral injustices in the world, for furthering education and advocacy about diversity within our community, for educating and showing support to the LGBT+ community, and much more. Not to say that our grade has made everything in the school perfect, but we have started a very large and important step in the right direction. Lastly, I believe we will be remembered for the connectedness of our grade as a whole. It is true that within our class, we all have our different friend groups that are obviously more close, but as a whole, our grade is friends. I have never once in my time at Ursuline been in a class where I couldn't turn to the person beside me and talk and have a laugh with them, and I think most people in our grade would tell you the same. Some of my favorite memories at Ursuline include retreats or events where our class was randomly assigned into groups and we participated in some sort of activity together. No matter what group of people I was with, it was always so much fun because no one was ever opposed to learning about or becoming closer with other people. The community that our grade has created has made the past 6 years much easier and much more fun than it could have been had it been a different group of girls. I can truly say I have learned so much from our grade and the astounding students we have in it. You all, as high school students, have taught me what it means to listen, educate myself, and stand for what I believe in, and that is not something that can be learned just anywhere. You have all shown me what it means to be a good classmate and friend, how to work hard and be successful, yet still have fun at the same time. I admire you all, and my experiences with this class have made me fully confident in the prosperous futures that await every single one of you. With that being said, I hope you all take advantage of this new chapter in your life to go forward and continue making an impact. Whether it be at college or anywhere else, continue to work hard, get out of your comfort zone, advocate for what you believe in, always be kind to yourself and others, and never give up. I wish you all the best of luck with your future endeavors, and I am very excited to see the impact this class will make on the rest of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki, and all of our beautiful speakers from the class of 2021. Very well done. It is now my honor to present our guest speaker, Mary Beth McMahon, a graduate of Ursuline Academy's class of 1982 and a member of the Board of Trustees. Mary Beth has been involved with Special Olympics since 1983, when she first volunteered in Rhode Island as a student at Providence College. In 1991, she decided to pursue Special Olympics as a career, leaving the financial industry for Special Olympics Maryland. After stints in Maryland, Northern California, and Nevada, Mary Beth returned home to Massachusetts in 2011 to become Senior Vice President. In March 2013, she assumed the role of CEO. Since that time, Mary Beth has seen the organization grow to serve over 14,000 individuals with intellectual disabilities, with the support of over 12,000 volunteers, in a year-round training and competition program across 23 different sports. The youngest athlete participating is 2.5, and the oldest is 93 years old. Special Olympics provides all programming for free to its participants by fundraising over $6 million annually. As Special Olympics emerges from pandemic, Mary Beth is leading the organization back to better, building grassroots programming to ensure that athletes are able to participate where they live or play in whatever way is best for their comfort level, at home, virtually, or in small in-person community programs. The goal of Mary Beth's work is to ensure that Special Olympics is offering the programming for all to feel welcome each and every day. Please welcome Mary Beth McMahon as our speaker today.
Thank you, Mary Kate. So I graduated many, many moons ago, and I will have to say I love your white dresses. I just want you to know, because I had long sleeves, and that would be a disaster today. So first of all, Joe would actually not like me and not consider me a co-development chair of the Board of Trustees if I didn't mention that there are 75 graduates here today, and that is so perfect for the start of our 75th anniversary. So thank you for all of you who planned that, because that was really good. So I also understand there's 7 students here whose moms are alumni too. So congratulations, moms, for coming back to see your daughter. So good afternoon, graduates, faculty, parents, and distinguished guests. Thank you for inviting me to be here today. I hope that I provide some humor, some storytelling, and some advice, but I'll make it short since it is very hot. But first, let me take a moment to again say congratulations to the class of 2021. Congratulations for being resilient, patient, flexible, ambitious, dynamic woman in what has surely been a surreal 16 months. The pandemic took so much away from what you would have done in junior year and certainly most of your senior year. But I hope you realize it also provided you an opportunity to build strength in your character. You have prospered in a time like no other to be here today, graduating from Ursuline Academy. Please know that that experience will allow you not only to leave a mark here at Ursuline, but even a greater mark as you move along your life's journey. So savor this moment, look around, take it all in, and realize today is for you. Today is to remember the moments of all of your years here. Today is to cherish the memories and friendships created here. And most importantly, today is the day you will look back and hopefully remember not the crazy last 16 months, but instead remember the experience as a whole and how it molded you into the amazing, vibrant woman you are today and will continue to be. And it is with that hope that I tell you my story. When I look back on this moment many moons ago, I had a plan. I was actually, and still am, a big planner, a type A personality planner, across the D's, dot the I's planner. I checklists that have checklist planner. Had a plan. I was heading off to Providence College, go Friars for anybody who's going there. I was going to major in business, and I was getting a job in international finance. I was going to live large. Yep, that's what I was going to do. But as I look back, I remember being confident in myself, something that was certainly not the case as an incoming student here at Ursuline. In fact, my first day, I live out in a town called Millis, so we rode the Savarian bus. I was waiting for that bus to pick us up, and someone sat down next to me on the front steps, and she said, "You're gonna hate it here." I was like, gee, thanks. Nice way to start my first day at a school my parents made me go to, but that's okay. Ironically, she ended up becoming my best friend, and to this day, she is still my best friend. So I know there were a couple of comments that mentioned friendships made here will stay here. So that is very true. But I also remember thinking I could choose whatever I wanted to do and be able to accomplish it. I had come a really long way from that incoming student. I also remember being really calm in that confidence, and that's kind of key. And that's probably the sense that comes over me today as I look back out at you and I remember that my graduation. You see, the feeling of calm happens because of your sense of confidence and your sense of worth that is built here at Ursuline and, of course, at home, as many of you mentioned. I ask you to remember that today, that feeling of calm and confidence, because you will need it as you go through your life. I'm also sure you're nervous about the next step, going to college and what's going to happen there. Big milestones like that will actually bring those feelings as well. But if you give yourself a moment to close your eyes, don't go to sleep, back to your first day here, whether you came in 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, or another grade, think about how confident you were. Think about the person you were. And instead, now think of the woman you are, and the intelligence and the confidence and your demeanor that's going to bring you out into the world. That's the memory you want to have as you move forward. When I look back, I had a plan, like I said, but I'll have to say that Ursuline Academy changed that plan. Now, hindsight's 20/20 for a reason, but I know in my heart of hearts that I am where I am today because of my experience here at Ursuline, especially because of thinking of serving. I just always had a pull to serve, and that's roots here and from my family. So although I had big plans in my head, I had a bigger pull in my heart. I'm the oldest of 5. Anyone who's the oldest here knows you have the most pictures, but you also tend to be the babysitter, the driver, the errand person, and the child that none of your siblings will say you broke the ice well enough in adventures. I was raised to be that planner I mentioned. I was raised to get good grades. I was raised to be faith-based. I was raised to believe getting a good job after college was what was going to help me provide my opportunities as I move forward. It was drilled in us. Good grades, good school, good job, get what you want. Well, I was also raised in a small town, went to a small high school, and I sit here today, like you did, having proud parents and family next to me. I did continue my plan. I attended Providence College, graduated with a bachelor's in business, and did go to work in the financial industry, as Mary Kate mentioned. My father was and is still my greatest advisor. Remember that in a second. During the time at Providence, I also kept getting that pull to Servium, and ironically, an organization that would change my life came into it, and that is Special Olympics. People often ask me why Special Olympics. There's usually an assumption that I have a family member involved, but to be truthful, it was the call to service that got me involved. I was volunteering for the chaplain of the college, Chaplain Father Adrian DeBash, and I was a naive freshman and doing anything the chaplain told me to do. I think the nuns had that working in my head. And one of the duties was to recruit volunteers for Special Olympics Day. I was so pleased with myself when 20 or so volunteers arrived in the gym for a basketball event, only to have Special Olympics Rhode Island look at me like, that all you got? I was like, uh-oh, something's wrong here. So it turns out Father DeBash left many details out when he gave me this task, including that we were actually organizing everything, including ceremonies, equipment, officials, meals, and 20 volunteers was certainly not going to be enough. Needless to say, the event was a disaster. I was completely embarrassed for myself and for the Providence community, and I made a commitment to Special Olympics Rhode Island that day that this would not happen again. By the time I graduated 4 years later, we had a full-fledged club on campus, and we are actually the official home of Special Olympics Rhode Island. But it was time to go into the real world, so I continued on my plan, moved back to Boston, and started working in the financial industry. But that call of service kept tugging at me, so I volunteered for Special Olympics Massachusetts. 8 years later, my two worlds would collide, and I would end up heading to Special Olympics in DC and in Maryland. Needless to say, that year has long gone by, and that was the day that my true career began. Now, to say I surprised many, especially my father, when I decided to leave the financial industry and go into Special Olympics, it was a clear understatement. Remember, I was going to be that international financer, and I was going to live large. So when I told my parents, my dad looked at me and told me that he did not believe this was the best decision I ever made, and I would regret it completely. It's a great way to send somebody off to DC, right? Now, he was a person who, again, good grades, good school, good job, take care of yourself, and you'll be able to provide any opportunity. But I didn't find my job. I found my vocation. And that vocation, needless to say, did not provide, in view of many, a living large. It was a hard conversation with my father, but I knew at the end of the day, my heart of hearts, the pull to Servium was too strong, and that my living large was just going to have a different definition, and that, graduates, is actually okay. My father did tell me this morning, actually yesterday, when he said, I didn't know you were the commencement speaker, I'm coming. I was like, oh no, you don't want to come, you're in the speech. I'm like, that's not good, Dad. But he wanted to do Nostalgia Row, and he wanted to actually stand here, as I said, that he's now since told me it was the best decision in my life. And those are the things that you want to remember as you go forward. You should also know that life is filled with these types of decisions. You have mountains and valleys. You'll have ebbs and flows. You'll be a freshman again, and then a graduate. You'll be a new employee, and then a manager. So many other times in your life will happen, like today, where you've accomplished one thing and you move on to another. Because journey of life has many chapters. The key is to be confident and comfortable to move forward to the next chapter. I'm honored every day to work for some incredible people, our Special Olympics athletes. They show me that every day is a gift and to seize it without inhibition. Ironically, it's what the world tells them they should not do. They were given this platform by an incredible, strong woman leader, Mrs. Eunice Kennedy Shriver. She believed that on the playing fields of sports, we were all equal. I had the honor of knowing and working with Mrs. Shriver, and to this day, she is the person I would say was my best boss. Mrs. Shriver was clear in her objective. She expected the highest of expectations because her objective was clear, that everybody deserved to be treated equal. She set high expectations and expected nothing less of achievement. And when you said no to her, I wouldn't recommend doing it, though she's been gone for a few years, she ignored you or told you to come back another time with a better answer. For example, the first time I finished a project for her, I walked in a little nervous because she was a very hard woman to work for, and it was not translated into 2 other languages. I told her I wasn't a translator, and she looked at me and she said, well, that's not my problem, and you need to go figure it out, and don't come back until you do. I left her office completely at wits. I was like, what? Okay. But I wasn't going back without that project being finished. And so I called Georgetown University, went to their translation department, and had it translated into different languages. See, she raised your ability to reach goals because she challenged you to constantly do more. Now, because she's a woman, and you as leaders, as women, will probably called different names along the way, but for Mrs. Shriver, that just made her accomplish more. She started a movement in 1968. For those here today who lived through that time and are history buffs, you will know the world was on fire. Mrs. Shriver started this organization from that fire and persevered in a time where women did not lead. She showed all of us that when you focus your time and talent on equality and achievement, you can be an amazing leader in your own right. And no matter how many no's you get along the way, they all eventually lead to a yes. My career journey has provided me the opportunity to live large in so many ways. I have traveled the world. I've lived in different parts of the country. I've been mission-focused in my vocation. I started a family, which, believe it or not, is the greatest gift. I get to watch my 2 able-bodied children grow up in a world where they only see equality. And that may be the greatest gift Special Olympics ever gave me. So today, I want you all to think about this. Out of another surreal time in 1968, this movement, whose mission is about aspiration, joy, collaboration, and inclusion, came to life. As Governor Charlie Baker once said to me, in the midst of a difficult, traumatic, often terrible time, there are still real things that you can find, learn from, hold on to them, model them, tend to the garden, and you will persevere. And to you graduates, I embark a similar message. You are coming through a time that the world is truly once again on fire. But it's what you find, learn from, hold on to, model, tend to the garden, and you will persevere. You can make your mark here or wherever you choose to go. I leave you with this. As Mrs. Shriver once said, you are the stars, and the stars are watching you. By your presence, you send a message to every village, every city, and every nation. A message of hope, a message of victory. The right to play on any playing field, you have earned it. The right to attend any school, you've earned it. The right to be on anyone's neighbor, you have earned it. So today, graduates, you are the stars. It's your time to shine brightly. Shine brightly. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. McMahon. That was truly inspiring. My name is Catherine Ginnity, and I'm the Dean of Academics at Ursuline. It is my pleasure at this time to invite forward Principal Mary Kate Tracy and President Kate Levesque to confer diplomas and honors on the members of the Ursuline Academy class of 2021. The following students have successfully completed the college preparatory curriculum of Ursuline Academy and are therefore awarded diplomas of graduation. Ready? Could everyone on the left-hand side stand? Brianna Catherine Allen. Layla Nadal Altenbohr. Madison Albie Anderson. Whoops. Sarah Ainsley Anise. Natalie Rachel Arameo. Alyssa Lynn Botari. Catherine Lena Butera. Kelly Lynn Cheevers. Bermina Marseille Cherry. Bella Rose Coe. Riley Hagan Coleman. Brooke Elizabeth DeLucia. Claire McGarty Dirks. Caroline Jane Egan. Amanda Kate Fwerst. Irene Sophia Giannakopoulos. Gracie May Gioso. Mackenzie Adeline Hoy. Madeline Phyllis Hayes. Caitlin McCraig Kern. Anna Catherine Kirby. Jordan Maeve Lowney. Alessandra Masso. Abigail Jean McCadden. Jane Elizabeth McGuire. Brianna Elizabeth McIntyre. Leah Moradian. Juliana Marie Moore. Katie Elizabeth Morrill. Maria Jeanette Nader. Dominique Alexandra Nersessian. Claire Lyndon Nye. Alexandra Lee O'Neill. Mary Carmel O'Neill. Celia Caroline Pastor. Sorry, I actually said that backwards. It should be Caroline Celia Pastor. Sorry, Caroline. Lily Margaret Payev. Danielle Rose Phillips. Isabella Christina Peretti. Samantha Elaine Roselli. Isabella Jade Saliba. Emily Marie Schneider. Rachel Elizabeth Semensky. Emily Yalili Storm. Rasija Velavan. Anna Justina Vernacchio. Maeve Julia Walsh. Catherine Woodward. And now the right side, please come forward. All set? Audrey Jane Abusowitz. Jocelyn Grace Amrine. Kara Bobroff. Laura Byrne. Madison Barbara Chin. Abigail Joanna Cogliandro. Hannah Julia Daly. Margaret Ann Delaney. Ella Riley Evans. Giannina Sophia Fellini. Catherine Rose Gormley. Brooke Spencer Griswold. Sophia Grace Hayes. Megan Maria Hobbs. Olivia Jean Manning. Isabella Rose McIntyre. Erin Margaret Ruth Melly. Libby Moore. Margaret Elizabeth Mulry. Nicole Sarah Olson. Dorothy Jane Parlon. Gabrielle Marie Rose. Olivia Grace Spala. Mairead Claire Stack. Ria Rose Thekathala. Greta Elizabeth Wires. Tegan Faith Young. Please join me in congratulating these outstanding young women from the class of 2021. The Medal of Excellence and Medal of Honor are presented each year to the seniors who have attained the highest scholastic averages over their complete course of studies. This year, the Medal of Excellence is awarded to our valedictorian, Nicole Olson. The Medal of Honor is awarded to our co-salutatorians, Brooke DeLucia and Greta Wires. The next award is presented annually to the student who reflects the qualities of an Ursuline woman embodied by Ursuline's beloved former principal, Sister Mercedes Videra. The recipient of the Sister Mercedes Videra Award acts with integrity, humility, generosity, and concern for others, and exhibits through her actions a deep love for Ursuline Academy. The award honors Sister Mercedes as well as the recipient and is presented today to Catherine Woodworth. Sorry, Kate. And I'm going to ask Catherine to stay on the stage for a moment and ask Mr. O'Connor to come forward.
Okay, full disclosure, I messed up yesterday. The wind blew the award away that Catherine was supposed to get, so I'm throwing it out there. Give me your mercy. Each year, the Ursuline athletic directors get together, and we nominate 2 people for a Scholar Award, which Nikki Olson got yesterday. And I think Catherine Kennedy said it best. I'm a big fan of Sister Mercedes. I couldn't think of another person more appropriate, not only to get the Sister Mercedes Award, but to get the Ursuline Education Network St. Angela Merici Award. Catherine Woodworth. I didn't want to lose it a second time.
In Ursuline schools throughout the world, the Serviam Award is the most prized honor because it seeks to recognize outstanding traits of leadership in service, awareness of the needs of others, and acceptance of responsibility, as well as academic achievements. This year, the Ursuline Serviam Award is given to Isabella Peretti. This brings to a close the presentations of our awards and honors for the class of 2021. The administration, faculty, and staff of Ursuline feel a great sense of pride in the accomplishments and promise of each of these remarkable young women. Please join me once again in acknowledging their achievements. And at this time, I'd like to ask President Levesque to offer her remarks.
Thank you, Catherine. Before we bring this ceremony to a close and get you all into air conditioning, we'd like to make one more award today. If you were to peek behind the curtain at Ursuline in the style of the Wizard of Oz, you would glimpse an operation comprised of people who care deeply about Ursuline. Our volunteers are remarkable. Every member of our faculty and staff, what they have done this year. My colleagues in administration and our trustees, in their collectively capable hands, no knot has been too big to untangle together, no problem impossible to solve. Together, all of these individuals have pooled their talents and energy, their skill and wisdom to help educate young women like those we gather to celebrate today. And while each makes an essential contribution, we would be remiss if we overlooked the opportunity to recognize someone whose contribution to Ursuline has been particularly distinctive. Ann Gioso joined the Board of Trustees in 2012. From the very start of her 9-year tenure in this volunteer leadership position, she has brought wisdom, insight, and dedication to each of the many roles she has graciously accepted. Her board committee assignments have included the Executive Committee, Strategic Planning, Advancement, and Governance Committees. Her engineering background and invaluable leadership on the Buildings and Grounds Committee during the construction of the Reynolds Center helped ensure that Ursuline was able to maximize the benefit of this critical addition to our campus. Most recently, Ann helped secure our next principal as co-chair of the Principal Search Committee. Ann's approach is a wonderful blend of the practical and the aspirational, taking into account the realities of what we have to work with while urging Ursuline to dream and stretch further. Ann's agreement to take on a role is a promise to do it well. Her style, which is warm and includes a great deal of laughter, encourages all voices to be heard in discussion, and her leadership is one that asks others to join in doing what is best for Ursuline and our students. Having worked closely with Ann over the last 9 years, it was often hard to imagine that she was not a graduate of Ursuline. That is how strongly she embodies the spirit of Serviam. She is the proud mother of 3 Ursuline alumnae, Katie, Stephanie, and Christina, and we felt it was only fitting to honor Ann by having her become an alumna of Ursuline. Ann, in recognition of your extraordinary efforts and accomplishments as a trustee, as well as your steadfast commitment to the mission of Ursuline, we are delighted to award you this honorary diploma. You are a true Ursuline woman, and we are proud to welcome you as an alumna. I do think Ann probably wishes she were in white today instead of black, so thank you for joining with us to present that honor. As we close our commencement ceremony today, we acknowledge all who teach and work at Ursuline. You have each contributed to the success of these 75 remarkable young women, especially through the past year. With your courage and resilience, you have shown us the strength of your commitment to all Ursuline students. I am deeply grateful to every member of our faculty, staff, and administration, and it is my honor to work alongside you. Thank you. To our parents, for the trust you placed in us as your daughters began at Ursuline years ago, and for the many ways you have supported Ursuline. You have helped us become a better school, and it has been a privilege to partner with you in the education of your daughters. And to the class of 2021, well done. You are an incredible group with amazing talents in so many areas. We have seen what you are capable of intellectually and spiritually, artistically and athletically, and we know you have the potential to improve the world in which we live. You have an Ursuline education, the loving support of your family, friends, and a foundation of faith. Because of these things, and because of who you are, that uniquely wonderful combination that makes each of you, you are blessed with choices. My hope for you is that you choose wisely. Wherever you go, choose to build community rather than exclude others. Choose to be curious and seek the truth rather than simply accept popular opinion. Choose to listen, truly listen, instead of simply hearing others. Choose to call home, not just text, and let those who love you know that you love them. Choose to act with purpose and conviction rather than simply being swept along with the crowd. In the spirit of serviam, choose to put your talents to work for the good of others. Choose to take care of your faith and celebrate that God is with you always. Women of the class of 2021, on behalf of the Ursuline Sisters, the Board of Trustees, our faculty, staff, and administration, I offer you our warmest congratulations. Godspeed, and may God bless you.